That was a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bumbershoot, where we're covering life's chaos. Have you missed us? We've been gone a couple weeks.
We have.
That wasn't my intention.
Yeah, it
My
feels like
intention
forever.
was to do some detours.
You did a few detours of your own.
I definitely detoured, but not online.
No.
Well, on Instagram.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was entertaining.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. So the first time I tried to podcast was alone in a car in Florida.
Oh.
After the weekend of being with my family. It was my uncle's 80th, which is why I went to Florida in the first place. Florida. It was so much fun. And then I was like dancing around, trying not to talk about certain things. So first of all, I love when, I don't know if everyone has this, but I know I grew up with cousins that we were really close to, even though we lived across the country from one another. And I always wanted that for my kids. And so I started taking them spring break. I took them back to Rhode Island every spring break so that they can get to know the family back there and just appreciate like our Italian roots from there and where I was born and the East Coast, because it's such a different, as you know, Tracy, it's such a different culture out there. So it was a big deal to me, and it worked. They really got close to my cousins' kids and my cousins too. So they wanted to come to Florida for my uncle's 80th, because his grandkids, the only two grandkids he has from his only child, Tommy, carried on the Comella name, which we're so proud of.
Of course.
But Tommy, the only child of my uncle, who was the last, because my dad at the time only had girls. We didn't know about Joseph, and Joseph doesn't carry the Comella last name. So Uncle Tom was the last one. He had one child, and it was a boy.
Out of all of the siblings?
Oh, yeah.
There's only two boys,
There was two boys for my grandparents, and then my dad had all girls that we knew of. And then my uncle had one boy, and that one boy had twin boys. So the Comella name duplicated after that, and we were so excited. So the twins they are January 2nd. They have the same birthday as their grandpa, January 2nd, and Luca is November 17th after them. So they're almost a year different, but they're not, and they were the same grade.
Oh, fun.
So, but then Logan came along like 2 years, 8 months later. So they were all like 4 when they first met Logan. And they like, it is the weirdest thing because the twins both like kind of picked their
favorite cousin.
Like Logan and Luca and Tom and Nick both gravitated, or all 4 like gravitated to the same 2. So do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like
They paired off.
They paired off since they were little, and they've always paired off the same.
Paired off in what
2
way?
have paired off.
Like Logan always hangs with
a certain
Nick.
Oh, okay,
and Luca
I
always.
I think it's now I'm confused, but I think it's, let's just say Logan and Nick and Luca and Tom.
So they definitely have their
always.
cousin bestie.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But like to a point where like they don't even know they're doing it, and they just like will like suck into a corner, or they'll go over here, or they'll go play, or these two will. And Beth and I, their mom and I, are always like, it is the weirdest thing. And they've done it their whole lives. So they've gone a few years now without seeing each other because of graduations and all the busyness. And then the twins got careers, and Luca went on to get his master's, and Logan went to Italy and all the things. So this is the first time in like 3 years that they've been back together, and they literally just like
Picked up.
naturally did it.
Cute.
And Logan disses the other one, and they harass each other, and they're all hilarious. They're so fun to be around, and we love it. But so they're kind of the only boys because Mitchell wasn't there, and most of the other second generation cousins are girls, and then the girls love them and hang out, like they're totally in with them. And one of my cousin's daughters, she wasn't around a lot actually at all when she was little, and she's kind of making up for lost time, and she's having a ball. So they're all of age now ish. So my uncle, this is a funny story, and I was telling it in the car by myself, but it just wasn't the same. So I'm going to tell that. So my uncle has his birthday party at the club. So that's a big deal. Like you have it at your club, like it's a golf club or
Country
whatever.
club.
Country club. Thank you. Country.
Nice.
You know that.
Fancy.
That's East Coast. It's a big deal to be in a country club.
And also in Wisconsin, it was also.
Well, that's
Just
east.
not here.
It's East Coast.
Yeah.
It's a big deal
it is.
east of the middle of the country to be
in a country
club.
But yeah.
It's like a status thing.
So it's like a Richie thing.
It gives the impression of that, but it's not necessarily. But yeah, I mean, kind of.
Super social. It's like a really social thing. Like you can golf, but there's also like social memberships where you just go and eat and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
I mean, we have like golf clubs here, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's just different. I don't know why.
We like when we came here, we wanted to join one. We're like, there aren't any. So we wanted to make friends. We didn't know how to make friends. We're like, we were 40 something. We're like, yeah.
That's where you would go to make friends on the East Coast.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We don't have them like that here. So anyway, the club. So my auntie Carol Ann had her 80th birthday there 2 years ago, but it was just a formal dinner, and it was very intimate, where my uncle had like 50 people, and so he had one table of neighbors and then 4 tables of family, and some of his wife's family, and then the rest was ours. I think there was like half a table of his wife's family, and then the rest was ours. And some of my cousins from Rhode Island made a point to come out, which was really cool. And so it was fun. It was great. But the significant thing is that my uncle, he's such a generous human. Like, the guy, give the shirt off his back to anybody. He had an open bar.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
So
it's like a wedding.
Kids didn't really know what that meant, but all they knew was drinks were free. So, I wasn't paying attention because I only had 2 drinks. Let's just make note. I had 2, so I did. I only had 2 seltzer drinks. So I had I had a tall, regular tall glass, but I didn't have a double. So it was just vodka the first quarter, and then soda water the 3/4. So I really I was fine, but I was in a silk dress with tennis shoes, so I could dance. So I was dancing. And then Louie, cousin Louie, he's 62 or 63, but you would think we act like we're 14 when we're together.
Love it.
He's my cousin that works out. Ever since I've ever remember him, he works out. It's part of his lifestyle. So he's always he's not tall, but he's super muscular. So he's like Popeye kind of. And, or a lot. And he works at a juvenile detention center. So he's boss man. He's cool. I love him. He's hilarious. He's infectious. But anyway, we were dancing. But what I didn't know was that when he would disappear, which wasn't very often, I didn't know he was doing shots with the kids at the bar. So the party and dance room were it was its own room, but then the doors were open to the bar that would serve to others, but there was nothing else going on. So it was just serving us. But I wasn't really paying attention because I was socializing and dancing. And then if Louie wasn't there, I'd dance with my aunt or whatever.
Yeah.
What I want to say is that all my aunts and uncles and my father, from 80, Uncle Tom's the youngest, his birthday, all the way up to my auntie Angela, who's 89, they were all dancing all night long.
So awesome.
So
I
cute.
wanna be
I was
them when
you
I'm that
guys are
age.
phenomenal.
Right?
It's incredible the energy they had and having so much fun. And they're just partying. I'm this is amazing. And then all of us have that same energy, which is great. So
goals
everybody
right there.
was partying. We were all having fun. But what we didn't realize, the kids weren't dancing with us. I couldn't see that in the beginning of the night. What we didn't know was there was shots going down back there we had no idea about. I don't know who we are, but I'll say me. I didn't know. I didn't know that was happening. So all my kids' generation kids were all at the bar, and it was then their aunts and uncles and cousins would go back and order drinks, and they would all embrace, and everybody was having fun. It was just adorable, this family feeling. And I don't know how these kids do it, because I can't do it and still look normal. And I didn't notice any of them were doing that, because they were acting just fun and great. And so anyway, long story short, there was a point that we all danced on the dance floor. My dad, I said, Dad, what do you want to play? He goes, the stroll. So my way to downer this.
Yeah,
so it's like, let's stroll, like the 50s.
Oh.
And so like everyone lines the dance floor and then people go through the middle of the dance floor and do their own little rendition.
Yeah.
It was actually, it turned out so cute, but I thought it was going to be like a little downer, but it was so cute. And everybody went out there. All the kids came out and everybody participated.
That sounds like fun.
You get paired with whoever you're in line with, so, and sometimes you change it so you can dance. Yeah. So like Logan changed it to dance with Auntie Annette and, people would change it to dance with certain people.
Yeah. They used to do that on the old Soul Train. Remember?
Yeah. Like back in the day.
Yes.
So that was super cute and super fun. And then we played, I Had the Time of My Life. Somebody requested it. And then we all started like jumping in the middle. My aunts and uncles jumping up and down, 80 years old. Like they were jumping and having fun and singing to each other and all the cousins. And it was so cute. Then cousin Tommy, Uncle Tom's only son, this is I didn't know about this talent. I forget the rap song, but all of a sudden the rap song comes on. My honky white cousin, Tommy, starts rapping.
Was it Rapper's Delight? Because I feel like anyone our age knows.
How does it go?
Hip hop.
No, I don't think that was it.
Wait, is that it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, your cousin Tommy starts rapping.
I feel like it's
not his son, but
it's
your
got
cousin.
No.
Your cousin.
My uncle is the 80-year-old.
Yes.
His son,
Yes,
my cousin.
Tommy. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's like 50.
It's got to be one we all know because I feel like
It
there's
is
the
one we all
old
know
ones.
for sure. I just can't think off the top of my head.
That's
And so
pretty good.
I'm like, what? And he's just going to town.
So he takes the mic and starts
Yes,
rapping.
and everyone's like, throwing arms up and like, what? And I'm just sitting there going, what are you
video
doing?
this?
I did. I have
Good.
video
I have to
of
see
it.
this.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a really fun time. So then after that, we go out to the bar, and I see all like the little cousins with Louie taking shots of tequila. So I start recording it, thinking like this is like the one and only time.
Yeah.
And so I'm recording it, and then we all take group pictures, and we're all smiling. Everybody's happy. It was so fun. And then I find out, let's just say, so I was totally fine because I only had 2 drinks. So
That's sort of like
I was totally
10th
fine.
shot.
The next day I find out that, so our kids, they got a ride from someone to a cool city outside of where all the retired people live. And they went out all night there and then Ubered back.
Okay.
And so the next day I find out they had all done like 6 shots of tequila. And not to mention all the other things they drank.
Right.
And so I was like, I don't know how they're functioning. And we all had to go to brunch. My uncle had brunch scheduled the next day at noon. So the kids wake up fine. I don't know how they do it. I never did this when I was their age. So maybe that's why I don't understand it.
They may be used to it a little bit.
I don't know. I can't even imagine it. So everybody gets dressed. Everybody looks so cute. We all go to brunch the next day. And I find out that the kids were all drinking all night and had 6 shots of tequila. And I said to Logan, you guys, Uncle Tom paid for all of that. And Logan goes, no, Mom, it was an open bar. I said, Logan, what do you think an open bar means? And he goes, it means that like he just paid for his birthday to be here and the bar is open. Yeah. I said, no, son, that means he paid for every drink that you drank. And he was like
mortified.
And so all the kids, we had like a lot of the kids at the table, and the twins were at a different table. They were at their papa's table. And they go, I don't think Nick knew that either. And so one of them came over. I go, do you know what an open bar means? And he's like, yeah, it means all the drinks are paid for. I go, do you know by who? And he goes, well, the party. I go, no, every single drink that went out.
They thought it was a flat fee or something.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I said to Logan, well, at least you guys didn't like specify a tequila. And he looks at me with his eyes bugged out. And I go, you specified a
A
tequila.
top shelf tequila.
Yes.
or something.
Yeah, and he told me whatever it was. I don't know. It was a top shelf tequila. And I was like, how many of you guys were doing that? He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7 or 8 of us.
So that's like 40 something shots that he paid for.
Not to mention all the other drinks that were going down all night long.
Thank God he's generous.
So
what was that?
I went over, I said, you guys owe Uncle an apology or a thank you or something. So I went over to my uncle and I said,
$1,000.
I said, Uncle, yeah. I go, just so you know, I educated my children today on what an open bar means. And he goes, yeah. Well, my dad said, I was sitting next to him when he got the call on the amount for the bar. And he goes, he definitely looked shocked. I was like, ugh. So I said, Uncle, I just want you to know I've educated my children on what an open bar is. And I didn't know they didn't know that. Nor did I know what they had to drink last night. So I personally apologize. And he goes, oh, Charity, they had a good time. It's okay. And I was like,
What a sweet man.
Uncle, seriously. I go, well, I'm embarrassed and they are too. And he goes, no, it's okay. It's fine. He goes, but do you notice today it's a cash bar? I go, yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, those open bars will get you.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Oh, I was like, oh gosh. So then that day I had a Bloody Mary there and then I had a glass of wine. And so then my uncle was having everyone at the house after. So I don't really want to diss my uncles, but what I'm going to say is I asked for a dirty martini about I don't know, we'd been there maybe 40 minutes and I asked for a dirty martini. And I have the best uncles in the world. I really do. But they're so catering and service hearted that they're not tallying. So I had my first martini, and that was the only martini I remembered for the rest of the day.
Oh boy. It was a triple.
It was a quadruple.
You only had one?
No, I had one that I remember. Apparently there was 3 more I didn't remember.
Oh.
And I didn't know any of this. The next morning I was like, why do I have a headache?
Yeah.
I had a Bloody Mary at the beginning of brunch, which was noon. And then I had a glass of wine before lunch was over, which
And
we were
one-
3:30 by the time lunch was over.
And one
Then we
dirty
went
martini.
back to his house and I had a martini and that's the only thing I remember. So I was like, why do I have a hangover? And then my cousin Jimmy, he's in his 60s, super cool guy. He texts me and he's like, how you doing today? And I was like, I said, well, I'm nursing a little headache, but why was it obvious? I said, did I drink that it was obvious? He goes, hey, we've all been there. And I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. So then Erin, who is my cousin who was in the Airbnb with me with her daughter, she comes out and I had been up, I had a headache and I was drinking water and she comes out. She's like, how you feeling? I go, why are you saying that? And she's like, for nothing. And I go, did I have too much to drink? And she's like, I mean, because I do not set out to do this. It's never
never.
my intention.
No.
The only times it's happened is when I've had a glass, say, of wine that people keep pouring and I don't pay
Yeah.
attention.
I hate it when people do that.
If they think they're doing you a favor and
Yes.
instead they're killing you.
Jeremy does that all the time.
That's
I'm
a
like,
problem.
no, I need to keep track.
Yes.
Yeah, no. And so
It's super sweet.
It's
They're,
good intention,
It
but they
is.
don't realize what
Very
they're
nice
doing.
of them, but yeah, no.
So I said, so she's like, I go, just tell me I wasn't embarrassing. She's like, no, you were totally fine. I go, oh, okay, good.
So you weren't up dancing on the tables or anything?
Well,
So she leaves. She goes to hang out with her parents, and I'm waiting for the kids to get up. And Louis texts me, and he's like, "What's going on?" I go, "Are we going to Siesta Key?" He's like, "Sure, whatever you want to do." I go, "Okay, the kids are sleeping." I said, "Head over, and we'll go get something to eat while we're waiting for them or whatever." So while I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Oh, let me look at my gallery." I had a gallery worth of photos and videos that I'll just say I want to crawl in a hole and die.
No.
I gotta see him. We'll post him on
I'm not posting them. I'm not posting.
Oh my gosh,
I'm gonna
I wanna
say
see.
I was not inappropriate. I wasn't. It's not. It's just for me. You guys know me, and
Yes.
I'm very my expectations of myself are very, very
Yes.
high.
I think you're very
1000%.
happy, and I've seen you like that
No.
one time. I'm not going to tell when, but you know when. I think
I've never seen you be inappropriate.
not inappropriate, but just hilarious, but
yeah.
noticeably drunk, but hilarious. But I've like hardly.
No,
ever
I
seen
don't
you
get like
that.
this. And this, I will tell you, it's the obnoxiousness and the annoyingness that I wanted to punch myself in the videos. I was videoing and I wanted to punch myself. And I was
God,
just
I can't
in
wait to
people's,
see
I
this.
was in my family's faces and like yelling and being obnoxious. Like my one cousin's name's Andrew. And every time I say that name, and Andrew can attest, your son, Rhonda, I always say Andrew because I love Overboard, that movie with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Oh, yeah.
And his name's, the pretentious man is named Andrew. And so Goldie Hawn always like yells at Andrew, are you going to bring me a lemon or do I have to squeeze it out of my hat? Like she's just so pretentious. So how many times I screamed Andrew in this video and he's going, yes, Charity. And I'm just like, so I had texted the whole family not knowing this and I'm like, hey everyone, we're going to Siskiyou. Anyone want to go? And then like nobody's really chiming in except for Jimmy that's on the flight. Like, how you doing? So I don't hear from anybody. I'm like, okay, nobody wants to go. That's fine. And then Louis comes over. Cha, how you doing? And he laughs at just air. He just laughs constantly. So he's like, oh yeah. He goes, Bernie's probably one of our cousins. He's probably in rehab today because you were grilling him. Because my cousin Bernie, I love him so much, but I love him and I had so many fun memories with him. But there was a period of time that he wasn't around and he like wasn't as in touch with everyone. And so it's my heart that I miss him.
Yeah. Right.
And that I wish he was still the Bernie my cousin that I spent the time with and had the memories with. And I don't have that. And it's his daughter that I didn't get to know for a long time. And so there was this big gap. Mm-hmm. So I know I have this underlying, it's not resentment, but I like have this sadness that I don't have him. Well, apparently it all came out.
Oh boy.
And Louis like, you were saying, are you in this family or are you out? Are you in or are you out? And I'm like, oh, like these are things you feel. And so Brandy said it perfectly. She goes, this is what we call a filter. So when you're not under the influence of 25,000 glasses martinis, you filter your thoughts and you know how to say it, how you can say, I really miss you and I love you and I want you around. Instead, I was like, are you in this family or are you out? And I'm like, so to say I was mortified is the biggest understatement of the century. I was so mortified. And then I was like my papa, he celebrated his birthday on a different day than he was born. And that was a thing like that we kind of joke about. Well,
why'd he do that?
I don't know. I don't know if he didn't know when he was born. I can't remember. One of my aunts told me, but I got on this kick about my papa, and I was like, when's his birthday? Oh, we don't know. But the good thing I did do was record that. If you get past the obnoxious part, then I went around to everyone and asked when their birthday was. So now I have on record everyone's birthday. So that's cool.
Oh, good.
And then Logan said I was mean to him. And I felt so horrible about that. And I go, well, you must have said something because he's been a little smarty pants. You know, he's trying to be an adult these days. And so we have kind of gone head to head a little bit in such situations. But I said, well, you must have said something that triggered me. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I look at Luca, he goes, Mom, he didn't say anything. He was just sitting there quiet. And Brandy goes, again, it's probably something that's suppressed in you that you're like frustrated with. And it came out. And I'm like, okay, but I don't like it. And I feel like it's ugly and that's not me. And I really didn't love that. And
that happens to everybody.
Really
it does.
Bad.
It does.
I know, but it doesn't happen to me. And I really put effort into not being that way.
True.
And I care. Like, I don't want anyone to feel bad or, whatever. Anyway, so needless to say, I couldn't sleep the next night. I was mortified. I apologized to everyone. Before I even knew all the details, just from the videos, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I just watched the videos from last night that I recorded myself. And I'm sorry. And please accept my apology. And everyone was like, you were fun. You were entertaining. And I'm like, I love my family so much. They're so gracious and they give me grace. Yeah. And I appreciate that. And they all were amazing. But to be honest, well, for another thing is my dad was there and my dad does not like me even buzzed. Like, it's not often, but he gets really upset because I'm not in control of me, and I get that. So I was like, oh my gosh, my dad's gonna kill me. Like at 52 years old, I was like, oh, the wrath of dad's coming. And Brandy goes, oh yeah. She's like, he's the only one I'd worry about because he even looks at me sometimes and like, is she okay? Is she not? And Brandy's like, I usually like, I almost always am like, yeah, she's fine, Dad, she's fine.
Yeah.
Because you guys know my personality. I'm out there anyways. Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, I will say the night of my uncle's birthday that I was dancing up a storm and stuff, they thought I was all like buzz. I wasn't at all.
No.
I was just footloose and fancy free. And I can be like that. And that's normally what you get from me.
With no alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, it's just not, I don't need it. And it's not something that I use for that. And so I was just mortified. And so my sister was like, she was super cool and coaching me through it. And it was funny. The next day I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, she's like, what? I go, well, Sunday, I might have had a little bit. And she goes, what'd you do? I was like, so I told her, and like everybody, I think that, and Brandy reiterated, and so did my mom. It's like what I see is way worse.
Right.
But I also, I just don't like the look of me being like that around anybody. I don't like it. So anyway, my one of my aunts invited all the aunts and uncles over for St. Patrick's Day, which was the day after everyone left. So I stayed longer than the rest of everyone that traveled in. So it was just the aunts and uncles and me and my dad. So first time I was going to see my dad since that Sunday. So I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday night. And so that happened on Sunday. So I had a day off. And then I was just like, pull up your big girl pants, go handle this like a big girl.
That's right.
And if everybody just embraced me and loved me. And then my cousin Andrew, so I messaged my aunt because I didn't have he's my step cousin. So I messaged my aunt, who's his mom, and I was like, Auntie, please tell him I'm so sorry for calling Andrew like 50,000 times. I'm so obnoxious and blah, blah. So he was there. He was the only cousin there. And he comes up to me and he goes, why are you apologizing?
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying.
He's like, you were not, that was fine.
I go, like that's okay.
No,
I don't think that's a big deal at all, actually.
But you were in a safe spot with your family. Yeah. You don't seem a lot. You were like comfortable and letting loose. You weren't out like
that's like
bar
when we
hopping
go
and
or we're calling you something different when we're tipsy or whatever.
It's fine that you said you're sorry because of how you felt. You're in your own head.
Playful.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what they said.
And you're in the right place to do that. You're with
saying.
family, somebody who loves you and supports you, cares for you, and you're being
having
playful
fun.
and having fun. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think there's anything wrong.
You didn't do it on purpose either. So it wasn't like you're trying to like get bummed. You just sometimes accidents happen.
You weren't trying to be rude or mean or
and I think that they did take that into consideration. Yeah, I think they did, and so they were very sweet. And so I just said, Andrew, I'm sorry, I'm just not that obnoxious and annoying. Like on a regular basis. He's like, I know that, Charity.
Yeah.
And then my Auntie Carol like, oh, Auntie, it's Bernie's mom. So I was like, Auntie, oh my gosh. And she goes, we all knew you were blitzed. It was fine. It was like, she just cute. And I was like, Auntie, I know, but that's not okay with me. So I'm sorry. And then I say they're my nephews, but the twins that are cousins, I was like, I'm mortified I did that in front of them. And I was apparently mean to Logan in front of them. So I texted them and they were like, you were hilarious. You were fine. And I'm
they probably think you're the coolest auntie ever right now.
Well, they shouldn't, but they do think that, but not for that reason.
Yeah.
But so anyway, it was mortifying to me, but I will say that thank God for forgiveness. And it wasn't my intent to do that, but it was gracious of my family. And I think it's a testament to my family for just understanding and knowing who I am, on a daily basis. But I definitely don't want to ever get like that. So
fan, sorry.
Oh gosh, the thing.
I'm hot.
It's okay.
Sorry.
But my two uncles both gave me 2 martinis each. So I gave them a ration and they just giggled. Uncle George said, "I'm fired, aren't I?" as bartender. And then Uncle Bob just giggled. And I was like, okay, guys, don't do that ever again.
Wait, let's just blame them.
It's their fault.
Well, Erin, her dad is Uncle George, and she's like, "It's my father and Uncle Bob. It's their fault." And I go, "Thank you for blaming somebody else, so not me." But anyway, so I wasn't going to share that, but I thought it's good to share it in the right context, right?
Right, exactly.
We've all done it.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, that was fun. And then I went up to see Gina in Georgia, and that was a great time. But then...
Oh.
Da, da, da.
What? What happened?
So I went up to see Gina, and I spent a few days with her, and I was supposed to fly out. Do you want to turn on the fan?
Yeah.
Jump up there.
Sweater off.
I'm so
Hot flash. This is like perimenopausal.
Hot flash city right here.
You gotta jump up and pull the string on the fan.
I just don't want it to go into the microphone.
You look cute, Trace. There you go.
Put it on. All right. There's a
So-
vibrating in the background. It's just my fan.
It's not the helicopter. The last.
They're so much better.
Yeah, these girls are both. I don't know if
Sorry,
I'm
I
gonna
think
hit
it's
this.
contagious. I just got hot, and then Rhonda got hot right after me.
Usually my cold water really helps me with that, so that's why I try to always have it with me. But then my hair sometimes will just
You've
take
got like
over
20
for
pounds
me.
of hair.
Yeah.
Borrow that if you want. I'm cool.
Sorry to leave you hanging, but that's not all. We'll be back next week with part 2. And part 2 you don't want to miss, because I was in the Atlanta airport debacle, if you heard about it all over the news, 2 Sundays ago. And let's just say you can't believe one thing after another that happened. You wouldn't believe it unless you knew me and knew that you could believe me. It's just unreal. So come back next week and listen to part 2.